Well, welcome to this webinar summary of the new accountability measures. The webinar itself has been put together as a result of colleagues at the various network groups realizing there was something that spanned whatever curriculum area you were in and sometimes whatever support area you were in, and needing to know more about it and to brief colleagues as well. So my name is Tim Strickland, and I hope that we can provide you with a bit more information over the next 5 or 10 minutes. So the purpose of the webinar is to introduce the new accountability measures which will come into effect in post-16 education in late 2016 or early 2017, understand what we're up against here, and then leave behind a reference source for other colleagues who can refer to it. Now we're measured at the moment, we know, on outcomes, on retention and so on. There are 5 new measures coming in. Some of them are remarkably similar to the outgoing ones, so they won't cause us as much heartache as other areas of post-16 education, because the whole point about the accountability measures is that they're common across whatever form of provider you have at post-16, sixth form college, school, college of further education, general further education, specialist college, and so on. So the 5 headline measures: progress, attainment, progress in English and maths, retention, and destination. And here we need to just take account of the fact that separate progress measures will be given out for academic level 3, so A levels, for applied general tech levels at level 3, and bringing up the rear slightly later to be introduced are the same things for level 2 qualifications. So the first headline measure is progress. It's going to form the basis of the first minimum standard, with separate measures for the academic A level and technical, as I just said. And if we look at this now, this is where we start to see some difference. Firstly, the progress a student makes between coming in with Key Stage 4 qualification, which one assumed is a GCSE, and attaining a level 3 qualification at the end of their programme. That is one measure that will be used. Now the next 2 bullet points are common to most of the measures, that there'll be reference to national statistics, whatever the figure is the students get, and the college will be given an overall grade which will be based plus and minus on national averages. So minimum standards will change from those being attainment based to progress based, and there will be a separate minimum standard for level 3 academic and applied general or vocational qualifications. The second headline measure combines completion and attainment. Again, reference to national averages. Third bullet point down, non-completers are treated as a fail. Now a partial non-completion is another case, but non-completers will clock immediately as a fail. The other unknown quantity at the moment is the last bullet, where it says meaningful value added progress measures will be developed for vocational qualifications, so we look forward to receiving those. The third headline measure is English and Maths. Now this is going to compare how well a student does with the same prior attainment, so I didn't express that very well, by which I mean all the students who come in with a D or all the students that come in with an E will be measured in their peer group. So as providers and indeed as parents, we'll have an idea of the progress made for these students, comparing like with like. National statistics and an overall grade, as I've said before, and the ruling that full-time students 16 to 19 with a grade D must go on to a GCSE and not functional skills. Now most colleges do that already, I know that, but there it is going to be one of the requirements. I've put on there, watch this space for further announcements, because the Chief Inspector in his final report and his annual report published a couple of weeks ago in late November was making reference to the same thing. So the fourth accountability measure is retention. Now this will show the number of students who are retained on their course to the end. We have a similar measure at the moment anyway, but the interesting bullet point on this one is the withdrawal from small learning aims say a student is doing a GCSE alongside an A-level or a GCSE alongside a BTEC or something, that will count as non-retention. Sorry, will not count as non-retention. The question I wanted to pose was, if a student is on 2 or 3 A-levels, how does it affect them? Would they be, if they drop one A-level, are they then deemed to be non-completers? I don't know. Now, as for retention, this is going to change slightly how it's measured as well. For the first thing that's going to be measured is the percentage of level 3 students, so finishing their BTECs or their A-levels, how many are going to return to study at year 13? So, in other words, they're going to carry on through the course. What about the students who retained but don't take final exams? And what about students who transfer down onto a lower level course? And a figure will be applicable to level 3 and to level 2 programs. And the final headline measure, accountability measure, which is coming in, is the percentage of Key Stage 5 students remaining in education or progressing to employment. Now, note that they must be in sustained participation in the 6 months following their examination. And we had many discussions on what's related employment and when does it deviate, and if you're in a service industry, can you transfer across sectors? And all of those things have yet to be ironed out. But hopefully that whets your appetite, tells you a little bit about the new accountability measures that are coming, and hopefully it was helpful. This webinar will be posted on the FE Sussex website, which is probably where you've drawn it down from, and finally it's funded by the Education and Training Foundation. Thank you.